everybody, welcome back to Clues by Sam. It is the game's birthday today. I want to wish them a happy birthday. We got clowns, we got cake, and I hope we have a perfect solve to celebrate in good style with them today. It is May 1st, and if you want to play along with me, there is a link in the description so we can celebrate together. And if you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it is a daily puzzle we play every day here on the channel, and in it there are 20 people, and each of them is either a criminal or an innocent. We gotta figure what they are using the clues that they give us. So let's see if this cake is innocent today. I'm gonna start mine right now and explain my logic as I go. So this is tricky. Let's see how tricky it actually is. Well, we have two cakes. That's nice. Scott says there are more innocents below Nancy than below Laura. So there's two people below Nancy and two people below Laura. One person below Laura is an innocent. If there has to be more innocents than that below Nancy, that means that two people below Nancy have to be innocents, and no more people below Laura could be innocents, so that we can keep the ratio. Now, Tina says that Olga has at least two criminal neighbors. Olga has 5 people, or I mean 2 cakes and 3 people neighboring her. At least 2 of those are criminals. Xavier says that Penny is one of 3 innocents in column B, so we know that Penny is an innocent. And there's 3 of those in column B. 5 people total in column B. 3 innocents and 2 criminals. Penny now says that both criminals above her are connected. So there's 3 people above her, Cheryl, Gary, and Coomer. 2 of those, because Penny's saying both, have to be criminals. That means that Gary has to be one of those criminals because he's the only one connected to any of the other 2. So we know that Cheryl and Coomer are opposites. One of them is a criminal, the other one is going to be an innocent. Now, oh, it's only 1 year? 1 year of Clues by Sam only. That's so cool. It has come a long way. I really like this. I guess we don't need Penny's clue anymore. And we know that there's 3 innocents in column B, so one of them is Penny. The second one is going to be above her, so we need a third one that is Will. The only other person who could be an innocent in column B. Will now says that Ike is one of 5 criminals on the edges, so Ike is a criminal. We know about one other criminal on the edge. Who is that? It's going to be one of the cakes. Why? Because Olga has 2 criminals neighboring her, right? That's what Tina says. So if Coomer is one of them, then the other one is going to have to be a cake. And if Coomer is not a criminal, we're going to have 2 cakes who are criminals. But I'm thinking we're going to have one of each. Let's see. And will Adam be the evil clown here? So we're playing good cop, bad cop with the cakes and clowns. Let's see. Now, Ike says that each row has at least 1 criminal, so we're talking about rows here. And there's 1 row who has only 1 person left and no criminals, and that's row 4, so that means that Olga has to be a criminal. Do we have any other rows with no criminals? Not yet, not yet. But we have a second criminal, or a third criminal on the edge, because we have Olga, Xavier, and Ike so far. So, how do we deal with that? We know for sure now that Freya and Adam died. I'm gonna have to stop. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's start again with my line of thought. We know that Olga is gonna have at least 1 cake be a criminal, right? Let's say that cake number 1 is criminal and the other one is innocent. If that happens, we know that Olga needs a second criminal who has to be Coomer, the only person left, and that will make Cheryl an innocent, right? Now, how many criminals do we have on the edges? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So my thought was wrong, because I thought that Adam and Freya wouldn't be in the equation, but each row needs at least one criminal. So we're thinking about Nancy, actually. We're thinking about Nancy. Let's try to make Nancy a criminal and see how that goes. If Nancy is a criminal, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Gary is not on the edge. So Ike, Nancy, Xavier, and Olga are our 4 criminals on the edges. And we know that Olga is going to have the 5th one because she needs at least one person who is on the edge neighboring her to be a criminal. And only one of them could. Otherwise, we would go above what we have as criminals on the edges. So let's make cake number 2 criminal and cake number 1 innocent. Now Kumar will be a criminal because Olga needs 2 criminals neighboring her. And that will make Cheryl an innocent. The thing is, now we have our 5 criminals on the edges. Ike, Nancy, Xavier, Olga, and Cake. That's 5 people. And that's what somebody said. Will says that 5 criminals are on the edges total. So nobody else who is on the edge could be a criminal. And row 1 has 4 people. All of them are on the edges. So everybody here will need to be an innocent. But now we have a row that doesn't have at least one criminal, which is what Ike says. So no, Nancy couldn't be a criminal. That's crazy, right? That we have to go so off what we're looking at the moment, because we're looking at Olga, and the person we have to look at is Nancy to figure out the next clue. Nancy now says that only one row has exactly 2 criminals. So how does that work for us? Because row 2 so far has 2 criminals. Could that be the row that has 2 criminals only? Because if that were the case, Freya and Henry would both be innocent. Let's look at it from the other way around. If Cake in row 5 is a criminal, then we know that row 5 is the row that has 2 criminals. I meant a third one, not a second one. Because if it were Freya, we would run into the same thing as we did with Nancy. If Freya is a criminal, that's okay. Now we have a row that doesn't have 2 criminals. We could have others. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 criminals on the edges, which means that Olga's cakes need to be opposites. And that will make Cake a criminal, which would make Kumar an innocent. A criminal, sorry, because we need 2 criminals neighboring Olga. But that will make Cheryl an innocent. And now nobody else on the edges can be a criminal. So everybody in row 1 will be innocent. And that will break because of Ike's clue. So Freya needs to be an innocent. Great, she doesn't give us a new clue, but we need to figure out Henry. Can we figure out Henry with Cake in row 5? If we make Cake criminal, can we make Henry criminal as well? I mean, there's nothing stopping us from doing that. If we make Henry innocent, can we make Cake innocent? Guess what I'm trying to say is there a way for Cake and Cake to be opposites? If Cake is innocent, if Cake in row 5 is innocent, we will need to have Cake in row 2 criminal and Kumar criminal, which will make Cheryl innocent. Now, row 1 for sure has to be a row with at least 1 criminal. We know that. We can't have everybody here I think this is the way I'm looking at it. I'm focusing too much on cakes. I need to focus on row 1 mainly, because we know there's gonna be one criminal here in row 1 for sure. It doesn't matter who that person is. We know that we can't have cake and cake both be criminals, because if both of them are criminals, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 criminals on the edges, and there's no way for there to be a criminal in row 1. So we know that cake and cake are opposites. And we know that Kumar is a criminal because cake and cake are opposites, and Olga needs a second criminal. So Kumar is a criminal now, which makes Cheryl an innocent. And we do get a new clue from Cheryl. Only one criminal in column C has a criminal directly above them. So we're talking about column C now. Xavier is in column C. He is a criminal and he has an innocent above him. Diane is in column C and she doesn't have anybody above her, so it doesn't matter what Diane is. If Henry is a criminal, he would have a criminal above him. Or he would be above a criminal. Right? What I'm trying to say is that there is no way for Henry to be an innocent. Because if Henry is an innocent, even if Laura is a criminal and Diane are criminals, there's no criminals in column C who have criminals above them. There's no way for any criminals in column C to have a criminal above him if Henry is not a criminal. He either has to be the criminal that is above another criminal or the criminal that has a criminal above him. So I know that Henry is a criminal for sure, and I hope that made sense as I explained him. And I also got now that column 2 or row 2 is not the row with 2 criminals only. Right? We know that row 1 is not the row with 2 criminals because there's only one criminal in row 1, since we need one criminal down here on the edge. So that means, do we look at Laura? We don't need Cheryl's clue anymore. Do we look at Laura to try to figure out the row that has 2 criminals? If we make Laura an innocent, we would have to make cake in row 5. Is there a way for Laura to be a criminal? Because if Laura is a criminal and cake in row 3 is a criminal, now we have no rows with 2 criminals. If Laura is a criminal, we have to make cake in row 3 innocent so that we have a row with 2 criminals. But now cake in row 5 is also a criminal, and we also have row 5 as a row with 2 criminals. So that doesn't work for Laura being a criminal, because she being a criminal breaks the single row with 1 criminal rule. So Laura has to be an innocent. I hope that was understandable. And I was right. The cakes are evil cake and good cake. So maybe Adam is a criminal. How do we figure that out? What do we have now? Also, Tina's clue said that Olga has at least 2 criminal neighbors, and I ignored the at least part completely. So that was pure luck on my side. Will says that Ike's one of the 5 criminals on the edges, so we know that there's going to be 5 criminals on the edges. Oh yeah, now we know that if we make cake 2, or cake in row 3, if we make it evil, we will make cake in row 5 innocent, and that will make row 3 have 2 criminals. If we make cake in row 3 innocent and cake in row 5 criminal, then row 5 is gonna have 2 innocents. So do I not need the thing of only one row has exactly 2 criminals? I guess I don't. What we do need to look at is Henry, because he's the only criminal in row 2 in column C. Henry is the only criminal in column C who could have a criminal above him, so that means that the person above him has to be a criminal, which makes everybody else in row 1 innocent, because we know that row 1 has only 1 criminal. Again, the clue is going, the flavor text is going outside the card here. I love it. Ethan says that exactly 1 innocent neighboring Will is a cake. Innocent. Okay, so none of the innocents that neighbor Will are cakes, and there's only 1 cake neighboring Will who could be an innocent, so that is the innocent cake, which makes the other cake evil. Good. Very nice. Now, one thing I noticed. I took my time because I was trying to explain everything, so I'm not really caring that much about time lately. I'm just trying to explain stuff very good. Let me close this and look at cake in row 3. Happy anniversary, there's a file inside. So can I inspect cake? It says there's a file inside. So what's inside? Inside this cake? A file? Inside? What does that mean? Where's the file? Do I get like a bonus puzzle from a file? But how do I find it? There's a file inside. So let me read all of the flavor texts so that maybe I can put this together. Adam, the clown, says, I've seen some weird puzzles, but this one tastes a cake. If we inspect him. You also think the puzzle was a piece of cake? Alright, I'll show myself out. Okay. I love that the clue just goes and goes. There's a file inside. Hey, who invited the clowns? Can we have a year with no clowns? Okay, Diane has a phobia here. Over 6,000 caught criminals. Okay, that is a lot. I feel like criminals deserve some cake. They can have it. I'm willing to share. You can have the criminal cake, we'll take the innocent one. Only 1 row, yeah. Don't forget about the bonus puzzles and puzzle packs. So is this about... I'm gonna inspect all of the cards. So, looking for a file. Looking for a download. Do I have to like look at the code in the page? That would be crazy. But I would do it. There's no file. Inside what? Share picture. We can share pictures now instead of the text. That's really cool. But I'm really intrigued. Okay, I looked at the code and on top of the page it says on a comment, nothing hidden here, quote unquote file, as in the thing you use to escape from prison. But I love that you came here to look for something. So, okay, I'm feeling better that Sam at least gave me an explanation. And file is in the thing you use to escape from prison. I don't know what that is because I'm not very versed in the lingo. English is not my native language, obviously, so I'm always learning new things. And yeah, I'll leave you guys here then, and I'll see you tomorrow for more Clues by Sam. Let me know what you thought of the video and of the whole file thing. and how the puzzle went for you, if it was really tricky. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.